bruh. Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Why you bullying me?
Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Dauntless video. Today I'm bringing you guys some builds for the Hammer, one of which is arguably one of the strongest builds in the entire game. So let's get started. For the first build, our weapon of choice is going to be the Hellion Hammer. I know, surprise, surprise. The reason being that it has innately +3 overpower, as well as having 2 power cell slots, which are filled with a +3 overpower cell and a +3 rage hunter cell. The special I use for almost everything is Mighty Landbreaker, unless I'm fighting something that's easily boopable, like the Moonreaver Shrike or the Riftstalker. And the mod you should opt for is the extended clip, which gives you an additional file. But unfortunately, I don't have that unlocked yet, which is why in the gameplay that you're seeing, I only have 5 files. So if you're like me and don't have it yet, or you just started using the hammer, then just use Weighted Crown. For the armor, we're going to be using the Hellion Helmet, slotted with a +3 Predator cell. The chest and gauntlets are going to be Rezakiri armor pieces, slotted with a +3 Etheric Attunement cell and a +3 Cunning cell, respectively. The boots are the Koshai boots, slotted with a +3 Conduit cell, and the lantern is the Drask's Fury lantern, slotted with another +3 Etheric Attunement cell. As a whole, this would give you +6 Etheric Attunement, Conduit, Cunning, Overpower, Predator, and Rage Hunter. Basically, just a crap load of damage. The increase in raw damage from Predator, and your Mighty Landbreaker, and the Drask Instacast means getting a stagger is almost instant. And getting a stagger means proccing Overpower, which means almost doubling your damage, which means you're gonna break parts like instantly, which means more staggers, which means more damage, and it's just a beautiful endless chain of staggers until it dies. You also might have noticed that this build is pretty much exactly the same as the one I showed in my sword video a few days ago, and that's because you just can't go wrong with this combination of skills. Etheric Attunement makes it so that you have Conduit procced almost the entire hunt, which means you can do your combos about 25% faster, which allows you to spam either slams, which again, do a crap load of damage. But this is also the same build because you can run this setup on every single Hellion weapon because they all have the exact same perk and slots, +3 overpower and 2 power cells. So you can actually just have this one build for almost anything in the game, regardless of what weapon you play with. Sword, axe, chain blades, hammer, or pike. The only exclusion being the repeaters because, well, they don't have those slots. Of course, I say almost everything in the game, because versus behemoths that are strong against blaze damage, of course, you'll need something else. For other weapons, they all have a certain way of being built, you know, to best counteract blaze behemoths, but I'll leave that for their own dedicated video. For hammer though, we can use this. For this build, we're going to be using the Rage Tail Hammer. It has innately +3 Rage Hunter, a power cell slot, and a utility slot that are filled with a +3 overpower cell and a +3 conduit cell, respectively. Mods and special are the same principles still apply. For the armor, we're going to be using the Hellion Helmet, slotted with a +3 Molten cell. The chest is the Koshai chest, slotted with a +3 Etheric Attunement cell. The gloves are the Hellion gloves, slotted with a +3 overpower cell. The boots are the Koshai boots, slotted with a +3 conduit cell. And the lantern is still going to be the Drask lantern, slotted with a +3 Etheric Attunement cell. As a whole, this will give you +6 Etheric Attunement, Conduit, Molten, Overpower, Predator, and Rage Hunter. Now, it may not be ice, but it will still deal more damage than the Hellion Hammer versus blaze behemoths, and especially with these perks, you'll have no problem clapping any behemoth you come across. You also have the added benefit of having fire immunity and attack speed from Molten, which should increase your DPS as well, at least in theory, and in practice by not having to risk losing Predator while standing on stuff like lava pits, etc. However, this does mean you do lose out on crits from Cunning, which is a shame, but it's alright. It's not the end of the world, and if you really want to have just some form of crit chance, you can swap out the Molten cell in the helmet for a Cunning cell, which would give you +3 Cunning, which is 6% critical chance. That's completely up to you though. Anyway guys, those are my hammer builds. I hope you guys like them. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please let me know in the comment section down below. And before I forget, Dauntless is finally coming to console, PS4 and Xbox One, next Tuesday, May 21st. So I'm going to try and stream as much of that as I possibly can that day. Going to be playing with friends, and I would love to play with you guys as well. So if you guys want to play with me or the squad and everything, join the Discord. The link is in the description. As always, send me a DM, add me on there, and on Dauntless as well, and we'll get some hunts going. It's going to be really fun. Anyways, I would like to thank my patrons for their continued support, and I would like to thank all of you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.